Lynn in Madisonville. You're on Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks. How can we help you, Lynn?
My question is, I recently became a state employee, and I'm trying to decide whether I should go with the teacher's pension or the other option.
And that other option would be the opt-out of lasers?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. What I'm looking for, and we have not ever talked much about this because I just don't come across people that have opted out. From your viewpoint, what is an advantage of opting out for that other program?
Okay. I already have 30 years of service in with Social Security, so my Social Security is secured. I do not fall within the Windfall Elimination Provision.
Awesome.
Yes, it was a critical factor in making the decision to go work for the state. My question is this. I'm at an age to where I may not work more than 7 to 10 years for the state. So I'm trying to make a decision. Would it make sense to do the opt-out or go for the TRSL and get a second retirement guaranteed for life?
Yeah, that opt-out, and correct me, you've probably looked into it, where they put in, I believe, about 6.2%, which is, I believe, their part of what ordinarily would go to Social Security, and in the opt-out, you would put in about 8%, and this goes over into an annuity. It could be any one of several companies that they use.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay,
yeah.
So good. I'm glad I'm kind of spot on there. And once you opt out to it, you can't change your mind. So if you feel you're protected on Social Security, that's not going away because you've got the 30 years of substantial earnings. And I'm assuming the confidence sound like you had verified that you have the years. And you're well past 20. So let's say if you were wrong about a year or two, you're good there. So we're solid on that. Do you have any other retirement savings built up?
Yes, sir. It's a typical 401k that is invested primarily in index funds.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear as well. So then you do have this option. So you've got Social Security, you've got other retirement assets. So you could look at, do you build a small pension here or build a lump sum on the side? So you really have, I'd say this is the reason there is an opt-out. It's just what I was wondering earlier today in a discussion with my team, and we were just kind of discussing out loud. So if you had done this 30 years ago, go into this program, I don't think the OPR, the opt-out, is an option, because why would you trade off getting Social Security and not get a pension in exchange? I kind of think that's the trade-off versus the OPR. Is that how you feel?
Yes. If that were my situation, yes, I wouldn't. I agree with you. I wouldn't trade off the TRSL or whatever it was called at that point. I would go for the guarantee.
Yeah. So being you have a couple things already in place, most importantly is you have a guaranteed pension. It's called Social Security. And then you've got an option here where you can create another lump sum of money, because when you do retire from this job, you can roll that, whatever goes into that annuity program that they have, that can be rolled over into an IRA once you separate. Any idea of what you potentially might build up there over 7 or 8 years?
Let's see. If I took it by 14%, maybe somewhere between, and I'm just roughing it, somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000, depending on if I worked 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years,
Okay. So that gives you additional money to use for the future, however you want. It will be taxable when you take distributions. And I think that's a viable option. I can't argue against it in your situation, but if you were coming to me and said, hey, I just started and I'm thinking about, this is 30 years younger, I would have a tough time bypassing lasers in that case. Yeah.
Yes, sir, and I agree with you. Okay, and that's what I'm kind of throwing it up in the air and saying which is better in my situation, and I guess it's not really a clear-cut decision. It's just
no, and I didn't ask you about your other 401k or anything there, but this is an add-on to that. So you've got to look at what your income needs are going to be, and this could in fact be an add-on to that. But it's also, when you have a fixed retirement income, and just talk about it this way here, Lynn. When you have a fixed income, and let's say you have a pension and some savings, but that you say the pension's plenty. But, retirement's a long time, probably could well be 30 years for you. You don't know how much you're going to need, but that Social Security is fixed. And if you're needing extra money or surplus money or disbursements in the future, where are you getting that from? So it's good to have that. And I'm sure it's a good add-on to what you already have there. The other money, is that going to generate income for you as well? Is it substantial enough?
It will. I'll be honest with you. Like most people, I'm probably, according to financial advisors, I'm woefully underfunded, I should say, in that respect. I mean, many people by the time they've reached my age have significantly higher balances in their retirement funds. But it is what it is. So, that's why I'm almost tempted to go in TRSL and get that guarantee, even if it is, $1,000 or less each month. It's a guaranteed income.
Yeah. Have you looked at what that have you seriously looked at what you could build an income with that? Or
I have.
Okay.
I have, but then again, it limits my choices. I have to stay working with the state. That is the limitation there.
Yeah. Okay. So you're trying to keep options open. Hopefully this talk on air here has helped you a little bit. I don't know that we've got to a definite decision, but you're underfunded. Some people have said you're underfunded. It sounds like you kind of agree with that, and you want to build up the income as well. So that might be a reason to look at lasers, even if it would make a difference of, when you think about a couple grand, that, what is that worth from a pension standpoint? That's worth maybe $150 a month, 25 grand there. And
right, which isn't much. Yeah.
No, and maybe if lasers could give you a bit more than that, if you could get to 200, 250, 300 a month from that, perhaps maybe, and add on top of the Social Security, because you do have other funding, even though it's not enough. Hopefully this was a little bit of help. If you need to talk more,
No, it was. It definitely was. It's not a clear-cut decision. So I appreciate your going through that. And I am the unusual situation. It is typically people who are beginning their careers, not towards the end of their career.
Right. Good luck to you, Lynn.
But I do thank you.
Okay.